Welcome to the OK Let's Learn podcast. This is two podcasts in one. One where we dive into tons of books and stories, and another where we just dive into tons of great, interesting topics. My name is Kevin O'Keefe. So today, let's learn all about our 11 human body systems. Yes, a 30,000-foot view, an overarching view, an introduction to what makes us human, how is it organized, all of our systems. Some you're familiar with, you talk about all the time, and others, you learned that back in biology, but really haven't revisited that. So, a lot of this, again, may be known to a good percentage of my audience, but a lot of us, especially my younger members of the audience, this is all new. A lot of words you'll reference, a lot of words you've heard, but putting it all together, hey, for all of us, it's all good to know. And future episodes, no doubt, will dive into each body system. So, before we talk about the 11 body systems, we need to understand how our body is organized. This term, a system, is at the very top of the food chain, the very top of organizing and understanding how our body functions. But you got to think of it like building a home. Everything starts with the smallest unit, which are cells. And yes, we all started off, you want to really get fascinated and dive into our human body? Think about it. We all started out as one cell, but we're not one of those parameciums. We ended up dividing. The cell divided and divided and divided to the point where we're now billions and possibly trillions of cells that make up our body. They are the tiny living units that make up everything. Each one has a job. Some are like delivery drivers, and some are builders, and some are messengers. They all function differently. When similar cells group together, they're called tissues. Tissues are teams of cells, like I mentioned, that work together. For example, muscle tissue helps you move. Nerve tissue sends signals. Then different tissues combine to form what we know as organs. Organs are structures with specific jobs. Your heart pumps blood. Your lungs bring in oxygen. Your stomach breaks down food. And finally, organs work together in teams that are called systems. And how many are there? Yes, you know at this point. There's 11 of them. And each one is like a department in a company, all working together to keep us alive and functioning. Now, let's go through the 11. We'll start off with the ones we know. Most of us know. Most of us have heard, right? The circulatory system. It's the highway system. This system includes our heart, blood, and the blood vessels. You got to think of it like a highway network. The heart is the engine. It pumps blood through the roads, which are our blood vessels, and the blood delivers oxygen and nutrients to every part of our body. Without our circulatory system, nothing gets where it needs to go. Number 2, our respiratory system. It's like our air exchange center. This includes our lungs and our airways. Every time we breathe in, we bring in oxygen. Every time we breathe out, we remove carbon dioxide. We got to think of our lungs like a pair of balloons with tiny millions of tiny air sacs constantly swapping gases to keep ourselves alive. I mean, we all know lungs, and again, talk about something fascinating we can dive into. The digestive system, it's our food processing plant. Well, this system breaks down our food that we eat to make it into usable energy. from our mouth to our stomach to our intestines. It's a long, winding road, as the Beatles once said. But it's this factory line. You got to think of the metaphor of like that conveyor belts, but it's stopping off and doing different jobs along that journey. By the time we're done, after chomping, dissolving, and getting those nutrients out into our system, our lunch has been turned into fuel that our body can actually use. Number 4, the command center, the nervous system. It includes our brain, our spinal cord, our nerves. You got to think of the metaphor of like our body being an electrical wiring system. The communications that we get, everything that we do, happens with the nerves. They send messages at lightning speed. Touch something hot, your nervous system reacts instantly. With my class, I just went up to the front of the room and I turned the lights off. In instantaneous seconds, milliseconds, our body is responding to everything. The nervous system controls not only our movements, but it also controls our emotions and thoughts. Imagine that. 5, our muscular system, the movement machine, the movements, right? Our muscles allow us to move, speak, blink, even pump our heart. We take that for granted. Yes, speaking, that's our muscles. Moving, they work. The muscles work by contracting, relaxing, pulling on our bones. Even when we're sitting still, muscles are moving behind the scenes. Number 6, the skeletal system. We all know these, the framework, our bones that give our bodies shape and structure, but they do more than that. I mean, obviously, without our bones, we would just be this big blob, this big amoeba. They protect our vital organs. Obviously, our skull protects our brain and our ribs protect our heart and lungs. They all work with muscles to help us move. And we'll touch on this at the end of the podcast, but talk about something that's fascinating. Our bones. Most people forget this. Most people that don't have any reference point say, oh, that's right, yeah. Well, guess what our bones do? Our bones manufacture and make our blood, everything in our blood cells, our red blood cells, our white blood cells, platelets, everything that's in our blood, our bones make. It's specifically the bone marrow inside our bone. And they create, get this, 500 billion new cells every single day. You talk about interrelating the systems. Oh boy. Number 7, our reproductive system. Yes, it's one of the 11. It doesn't, it's not essential for our survival, but certainly it's essential for our species' survival. For us as a species to continue, we have to have more humans. We have to be able to create new life. That is what we're talking about. We're talking about having babies. So this reproductive system, it also, in addition to allowing humans to create new life, it also produces hormones that help our development, that influence our development, and help and influence our behavior. So interesting. Number 8, our immune system, our defense, our army that's out there that's helping when we're under attack from bacteria, from viruses and other invaders into our body. This is our personal army that protects us. It's our white blood cells that patrol and look out for the threats and destroy them. Most of the time, we don't even realize that this battle is going on. Our immune system. Number 9, that kind of works in tandem. Our lymphatic system. We're now getting to the last three that a lot of us don't necessarily know. Yeah, maybe I've heard of it, but these names are not as familiar as the first few. The lymphatic system works closely, like I said, with the immune system. It removes waste, toxins, and extra fluid from our tissues. You got to think of it like the drainage system or the sanitation department. It collects the garbage that our body doesn't need and helps filter it out. Our lymph nodes, those little bumps you feel when you're sick, they're like the checkpoints where harmful substances can get trapped and, yes, destroyed. We've all heard of these lymph nodes, and yes, they are part of this lymphatic system. Okay, here we go. We got to address something. Controversy. A lot of people believe that there's another system that would make it 12, the excretory system. When you heard about waste, when talking about the lymphatic system, you must have been thinking excretory system, right? Everything that we remove from our body. Well, here's the thing. It can get confusing. So we talk about the most commonly cited number in terms of human body systems still being 11. And when you have the number be 11, that means you're combining the lymphatic and the immune system into one system. And then you're having the excretory system, our kidneys, our bladder, also referred to as the urinary system. So the urinary/excretory system as the other system. If you have lymphatic and immune system separate, then you're talking about 12. So there is controversy here. I mean, let me make it very clear when we're talking about the difference here with the lymphatic system and the excretory system, because we both talked about waste with both of them. The lymphatic system does help remove waste, but it is not the same as the excretory system. Think of the lymphatic system as the drainage and cleanup network. It collects extra fluid from our tissues. It filters them through the lymph nodes. Again, talk about taking a deep dive, future episode. I'll say that again. Lymphatic system collects extra fluid from our tissues, filters it through the lymph nodes, and helps your immune system trap and destroy the germs. So it's all about isolating those germs and destroying them. It's like taking out the loose trash and spilled water around the neighborhood, but it does not remove the main chemical waste from our blood. That job belongs to the excretory system, and that's where the difference comes. It's often called the urinary system, right? Because, well, as you know, we've got different ways of getting rid of our waste, and I won't go into details. But yes, you got to take them as a separate system. The excretory system's led by the kidneys, and that acts as a high-powered filtration plant for our blood, removing dissolved waste and sending them out the body as urine. The easiest way to remember it is this. The lymphatic system cleans up around your cells while the excretory system filters the blood. Two different cleanup jobs, two different systems, both essential. And yes, that excretory system is all about that large intestine as well, all about that colon as well, and removing the solid waste. Okay, talk about a detour, talk about a pothole, talk about traffic getting stopped on our way to number 11 in our body systems. Hey, I hope that wasn't too confusing. Certainly worthy of a deep dive down the road, but let's hit number 10. And number 10 is one I think most adults have heard, the endocrine system. It's the hormone messenger system. For my younger members of the audience, just know that this system uses something called hormones. Hormones are little chemical signals, and they control so many parts of our body, a lot of long-term ways that we work inside our body. You got to think of it like sending letters instead of text messages. It's interesting, right? Talk about a great metaphor. It's slower, but they're powerful. The endocrine system, the hormones, control everything from the way we grow, how we grow. It controls our sleep. It controls how we're feeling, happy, sad. And it controls basically how we break down our food, something called our metabolism. Glands like the thyroid and the pituitary release hormones into the bloodstream, and they basically tell our body what to do over time. And again, glands are fascinating. These little engines inside our body that help us do so much. Finally, integumentary, the integumentary system. Oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? This is number 11 because I don't know. Call me not the sharpest tool in the shed. Really? Let me just tell you this. Fine, if you just came out of biology class, you remember it, you know it. But if you're as old as me, we weren't taught this word. I mean, I've never heard it used, right? Well, apparently, this word is Latin for covering. And what is it? It's our skin, our hair, our nails. It's the body's largest organ, and certainly it has an important job. It's our protective shield. It protects us from the outside world. You talk about the fact that we're not always getting sick. Occasionally we do. Whenever we get a cut, that's why we got to get that Band-Aid on there, because it protects us from germs. It protects us from the heat, the cold, any kind of injury. And yeah, it helps us regulate the temperature and allows us to feel, touch. But the bottom line is, hey, I asked, how come I don't know this word? And it's kind of like basically when they didn't introduce it for the laymen, for the students back in the day. You know, they just talked about it being our skin, our hair. Well, I guess it was like, instead of saying femur, you would just say the thigh bone. Well, there it is. I am not going to say the word again because I had a hard enough time pronouncing it, but just know that is the 11th body system. So, as I mentioned before, none of these systems work alone. They are deeply connected. Think about it. Our respiratory system brings in oxygen. The circulatory system delivers the oxygen. The digestive system provides the fuel. It breaks down that fuel, right, and brings it out to the rest of our body. Our muscles use that fuel to move. There's a muscular system. Our nervous system controls everything in terms of telling us to move, and our immune and lymphatic systems protect and clean everything that I've just mentioned previously. And the endocrine system, well, it helps us over time pretty much change and develop and move on in our life. It's like this big, fine-tuned orchestra. Each instrument is playing its part and put together. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Our body is not just a collection of parts. It's a living, breathing system of systems, constantly communicating, adjusting, working to keep us alive and thriving. And yeah, the more you understand it, oh boy, can you help your body? Can you be more in tune with your body? This isn't just biology. Really, it really is an incredible functioning machine. And I don't care what AI is going to do in the future, what kind of robots that we produce, there is no more efficient and more important machine that's ever been built. So, Friends, thanks for taking this journey with me on the 11 body systems. Well, maybe it's at 12, but no, we're going to stick with 11. Reach out to me at kevmok21@gmail.com. We have a Facebook group called OK Let's Learn. You can go to the link in the comments below. We also have a YouTube channel if you like listening on YouTube instead. It's only audio. Always love the reviews, the ratings on Apple Podcasts or any podcast platform of your choosing. And if you want to subscribe, get that newest episode automatically downloaded on your phone, just hit that plus button in the top right-hand corner in Apple Podcast. And until next time, have fun and keep learning.